Second line. Hu Yosem Yisoma Dosul Kami Derova. This orphan, a boy and a girl and a sister. They came before Rava. So a sister doesn't inherit if there's male heir, okay? Omalu Rava, so Rava said, Helu li Yosem Bishvil Yisoma. You should give the sister, when you give the Yosem, the portion you give him from the estate should be also to cover a sister. We'll see. Amalei Rabbono L'Rava v'Marhu Di'omev Karv Lo Metaltli. We had earlier that if you have fixed properties, that's when you give the sustenance, the mizonos, to the female. But for movables, you don't. So over here we're talking about there are only movables. So why do you say that we should give enough for the brother to cover even his sister? Right? Ma'ar dom karv lo metaltli bein lemizoni bein lechsuva bein leparnoso. Omalu. So Rava says, listen, ilu rotza shifcha d'shamsho. Let's say the son would want, she needs a housekeeper to take care of, right? That goes into sustenance. You give him what his needs are. So he says, Milo Yavina Le, of course, so Kosh came, Dikatarti. So over here, if the sister is with him, that means she's taking care of the household chores. So she's worse than a maidservant, right? You'd have to pay for help. So therefore, now that she happens to be a sister, that makes it worse. So definitely you should give the money. We learn the Bryce. Whether it's fixed property. Means fixed property. It's movables. Motziin, lemozon, isha, ulabanos, div Rebbe. Rebbe says we don't make a differentiation. Rebbe's position is, even if it's movables, the woman, the wife, and the daughters are supported from even metaltlin, not only from fixed property. If it's fixed property, then you give the girls and you take away from the boys, even though they're the heirs. Ulabonos min abonos. And what? Let's say you have many sisters. The older ones can't take it all for themselves. They share it equally. Ulabonim min abonim. If you have sons, older sons, younger sons, they divide equally. Ulabonim min abonos bin nechosim rubim. If you have a large estate, so then, what do you give the sisters? Only what they need for their food. But the rest of it goes to the sons. Avolo labonim min abonos bin nechosim muatim. But if you have a small estate where there's only enough in the estate to cover the food, and if they would take it, the sisters would have nothing to cover their expenses, then the sons don't take. Because that's what? That's the Tanai Ksuba. Nechosim shem lav charayis. What about if it's movables? Motziin labonim min abonim, ulabonim ulabonis min abonos, ulabonim min abonos, avalo labonos min abonim. He says, however, if it's movables, the daughters get nothing. Now he says, so according to Rebbe, the sisters get from movables. According to Shimon Elazar, the sisters don't get. Now we have a principle. Whenever Rebbe argues with a colleague, we always rule like Rebbe. Whenever he argues with a majority, we rule like the majority. So who's the one he's arguing with? Reb Elazar, Reb Shimon. It's a single person. So how should we rule? We should rule like Rebbe. So that's what he says. Although under normal circumstances, whenever there's an argument with Rebbe and a colleague, we always rule like Rebbe. Hocha, here there's the exception. Halacha Reb Shimon Elazar, Domer Rava, as Rava ruled, Hilsa mimekarkoi. What does the girls get? Their sustenance and their other financial needs. If it's fixed property, velo mimetaltli, bein lechsuba, bein lemizoni, bein leparnosa. Whether it's the ksuba, or it's the mizoni, or it's the what we call the dowry, it's only for fixed property and not from movables. Next Mishnah. Lo kosav lo ksuba. A woman, she gets married, she gets a ksuba. Let's say the husband didn't write a ksuba. Didn't write it. And he admits he didn't write it. Does she have a claim? He says, we got married, there's no ksuba, I owe you nothing. There's no such thing. Because they legislated, there's halacha, a man marries, if she's a psula, she gets 200. If she's not a psula, she's not a virgin, she gets 100. Lo kosa lo ksuba, nevertheless, go psula go ve'bosayim. If she was a virgin time in a marriage, she gets 200, even though she doesn't have a document. Almona mona, why? They should Tanai Bezdin, because that's Tanai Bezdin. Because that was legislated. A married man must pay ksuba to a wife upon divorce. or he becomes, he's deceased. Kosla sode shove mon tachs mosayim. He wrote in the document, I'm giving you a piece of property. The field was worth 100, but he gave that field for the $200 ksuba. Below kosavlo, he didn't write in the document, kol nechosei disle achroin l'ksubosei. He didn't say, well, my fixed property is leaned to your ksuba. He didn't write that. Chayav, doesn't make a difference. Even though he said only a piece of property, the property he leaned to the ksuba was that $100 piece of property, and he didn't write, all my properties are leaned to your ksuba. Since she owes him, he owes her that amount of money, the additional 100. All his properties are leaned to the balance, right? Why should Tanai Bezdin? Again, because it's Tanai Bezdin. Lo kosav lo. Let's see it in write in the ksuba. Im tishtaboy afrikinoch. He didn't write in the ksuba. If you should be taken captive, I will ransom you. Vo spinoch lilintu, and I will take you back as a wife. Ubo kehenes. What about a Kohen? What happens if the wife of a Kohen is taken captive? He has to divorce her, right? Ubo kehenes adrinoch lemedinosech. I will return you to your original location. That means he'll cover all expenses to get her back, because he can't continue living with her. Chayov. Even if he didn't write that into the document, he has to pay those expenses. Why? Shutanai Bezin, because that's the halacha, that's what they legislated. Nishbis, what happens if she was taken captive? Chayv of doso. V'imoma harigito ksuba. V'imoma harigito ksuboso. V'tista tiftis atzma. He says, you know something? She's right now, she's captive. He says, you know something? I'll give her a get. I'll give it a ksuba. He says, I don't want to bother, because the ransom amount is greater than the ksuba. And he's not permitted to do that, because since she's his wife, that's his financial obligation. He wants to get away, cheap. Lokso, she's his wife. Chai b'krufuosa. He has to pay doctor bills, right? Omer harei gito ksuboso. What about she has doctor bills, and they continue to mount up? He says, you know something? I'm divorcing you. Go pay your own doctor bills. So you only have to pay doctor bills for a wife. If she's already taken captive, your obligation is to ransom her. You can't say, well, I'll divorce her, let her deal with it herself. No, she's your wife, you have to ransom her. But doctor bills means accumulating doctor bills. So he wants to cut his losses. If he divorces her, now she's on her own. She pays her own doctor bills. That he's permitted to do. He's permitted to do it. Now the Mishnah. Who do we attribute the Mishnah to? Money, Remei. It's going like Remeir. It's an anonymous Mishnah. Why? A man who gives his wife less than she's supposed to get, he's not even permitted to cohabit with her. It's a bilas nus. Yeah, if he wants, he writes in the document, I owe you 200 because she's a virgin. And she writes him a receipt, even though she never got the money, because that's what he wants. I received from you 100. That means she waived 100 of the 200. Ulamona mono. Let's say he has to write. He owes in the ksuba. He has to give her 100 if she's a widow. And she gives him a receipt as if she received $50, 50%. So the ratio is what? Is going like Rabbi Yehuda. 200 she has to get it under every circumstance. So the Mishnah is not going like Rabbi Yehuda. Aim is safer. Let's read the safer. Cause of those, so they shove mono. Tachs mosayim zuz. He gives her a field that's worth 100, and he says, well, it's 200. And she accepts it. So what does that mean? And he said, all my assets are leaned to Yiksub. He didn't write that. He asked the why. Shutanai Bezdin. So that's also Rabbi Yehuda. Now there's a question. Something that you don't insert in the document. Let's say I sell you a piece of property. And I meant to say, it's contingent, you pay me within 30 days. And I forgot to write in the document. What's the halacha? It's not contingent on anything. If you want to be considered, you should have written in the document. You didn't write in documents, nothing. That's something else. One second. Let me get this point. You're getting off. I don't want to get on a tangent. I sell you a piece of property that I have to be paid in 30 days. I'm talking about a loan. I sell you a piece of property. The sale is a sale if I'm paid 30 days. If I don't, 30 days. It's not a sale. He didn't write that condition, that clause in the document. What's the halacha? It's a transaction is immediate. Well, he says, but that's what I meant. It's irrelevant. You didn't put it in the document. It's nothing. What about ksuba? Ksuba has a normal terminologies. It's a text. And it was not written in the ksuba. Well, it wasn't written in the ksuba. We say, because you're obligated, that it's not there is considered, it's an omission. It was forgotten to be put in. That's called achrayus to a sofer. Person sells a property. Anybody who spends money on fixed property, a person will not buy it unless there's a guarantee that if it should be taken by the creditor of the seller, that he's not going to be reimbursed. So the halacha is, we rule that even if you don't write in the deed that this property is guaranteed that it should be taken, if it is taken, it's sold with a guarantee, and the buyer is reimbursed his original the purchase price. Okay, so the same thing with ksuba. Rabbi Yehuda holds achrayus to a sofer. The lien, meaning the guarantee, we say if it's omitted, we say it's an oversight by the sofer. The scribe forgot to put it in. Di Reb Meir. So the safe is going like Rabbi Yehuda. Reb Meir achrayus lav to a sofer. Reb Meir is of the opinion, no, that every document, you're only bound to what's written in the document. And if something's omitted, it has no relevance to the document. Ditnan, where do we find this? Motzei shtarich. A person finds a loan document. You can find it in the tree. You can find it on a ride in the amusement park. Wherever you find it. You can find it in Howard's basement. Wherever you find it. Motzei shtarich. Im yesh. Now there's a question of who lost it. Did the lender lose it? Did the borrower lose it? Maybe the borrower, after he paid. So if that's the case, if I return it to the lender, and let's say that document has a guarantee. So now if the borrower can't pay, what is he going to do? The lender's going to take that to the properties which are liened. He's going to collect from them. But really, factually, the borrower may have lost it. So even if the borrower says the lender lost it, they made a deal between the two of them. They're going to collect the property from the third party, and what they can do, they're going to divide. They'll split the pot, whatever they collect. Therefore, if the document is found, you don't return it. Even if the borrower says it was the lender who lost it, you don't return it to the lender. Because you could have a problem. Okay? We'll see. Motzei shtarich. Im yesh ba'achrayus sof dechosim. Lo yachzir. If there's a guarantee in that document, you don't give it back to the lender, even to the borrower, even if the borrower says the lender lost it. Why? Shebezdin ifraben. Because if the borrower can't pay, what does the bezdin do? They go after the lien properties. What about Amen Machrayus Sofrim? Let's say the document itself, there's no property linked to this document, right? Let's say it's an IOU. It's an IOU. There's no Nechosim and Yahzi, you could give it back. You give it back to the what? If the borrower says the lender lost, you give it back to the lender. Why not? Shein bezdin is from him. Divrei Reb Meir. So we're talking about a document, which the document, there was no guarantee written in the document. He didn't write a document. If I don't pay, you go after my lien properties. He didn't write that in. So if it's written into the document, then you don't return it. So what do you see Reb Meir holds? Achrayus is not to a sofer. That you only deal with what's in the document. If it wasn't inserted in the document, it's nothing. The Chachamim omrim, who the Chachamim? Chachamim Reb Yehuda. Echod zeh v'echod zeh. Whether it's written in the document, not written in the document, the guarantee, lo yachzir. You don't give it back to the lender, even if the borrower says the lender lost it. Why? Shebezdin from him, because Bezdin will go after the lien properties to collect. But how could they go? There's no guarantee. The answer is Chacham hold achrayus to a sofer. We say it was an oversight. Really, the loan was lent with a guarantee. It's not in the document. We say it was an oversight. So we have a problem. We're quoting a Mishnah. In our Mishnah, the ratio we say is going to Reb Meir that what? That you have to give the full amount. And the save is going to Reb Yehuda, achrayus to a sofer. Reb Meir, ratio Reb Meir, save for Reb Yehuda, v'chi tebekul Reb Meir. Maybe you'll say the whole Mishnah is going to Reb Meir, but excuse me. Take this. Maybe you want to say Remeir will differentiate between a ksuba and what? And a regular loan document. A ksuba, we say the omission is an oversight. But the loan document is not an oversight. He says, where is it? V'chitema kula Remeir. V'shayni leilu Remeir ben ksuba l'shtar. Right? L'shtori, Remeir differentiates between a document which is a ksuba and just a monetary document. So versus V'shayni leik. Does Remeir make such a differentiation? We learned in the Braiso. Chamisha govim mechurorin. 5 situations where money is owed you could collect from free properties. Only free properties. What are they? Elohein. Peiros. The fruits, because anything which is not a fixed amount, we can see why could you collect from lien properties? Because a person, before he does a piece of property, he does his research, and he knows there's so much outstanding debt. But what about, you have fruits? Let's say the husband took fruits more than he should have, right? It's open-ended. You don't know. So therefore, we have to protect the buyers, because as much research as they do, they're going to be in a compromised position. Therefore, you can't collect from lien properties. Shevach Peiros. What about the Shevach Peiros? Yeah. Meaning, let's say a person invested something in a property and he increased its value. Then it was taken from him. I'll give you an example. I buy a piece of property, then I have financial upgrades I did in the property. Now the property is taken from me. So the person who bought the property, and I bought the property with a guarantee. So I'm going to be reimbursed for the purchase price. So because the person who bought the property from the seller, he did his research and he understood that the man sold the property with a guarantee. But what about all the capital upgrades, capital investment? He doesn't know what he put into it. So what's liened? The cost of the property. But the capital improvements, you can't collect from lien properties. Because the one who bought the property from him, right, he has no idea. He has no idea to what degree it is. So something which you're able to find out, it's a fixed amount. I know the sale price was so much. I bought it. Why? Because I know exactly what I'm getting myself into. Right? So I bought the property. But beyond that, I'm not interested. They're going to come after me for an unknown number. Right? Okay? Doesn't make a difference. That does because... Right. Okay? The Shevach Peiros, V'amakabel olav losen has been ishto ubas ishto. What a person has a financial obligation to support his wife's children. Right? What is the extent of that support? You can only collect from free properties. You can only get after the fixed properties that were sold off. The get chov means a regular document. She'ein bo achrayus. Right? That's poshut. Because since there was no guarantee, so it's right. Uksubas isha she'ein bo achrayus. So you see this? So we're equating a regular monetary document, a ksuba. It says a ksuba that's written without a guarantee. You collect the ksuba from what? From the free properties, not lien properties. So you see over here, Rameir, whose opinion is this? So you see, Rameir does not differentiate between a ksuba and a regular monetary document. Mad shamet leidom achrayis lavto sofer. Who? Rameir. That's Rameir. Rameir says if the guarantee is not written document, we say it's not an oversight. Uktane, what does it say over here? Ksuba sisha, and we're equating the ksuba to what? To a regular monetary document. So if that's the case, what do we have said in our Mishnah? The Reish is going like Rameir, and the Seifa is going like Reb Yehuda. Ibo Seima Reb Meir. We're able to say no, the Mishnah goes like Reb Meir, Ibo Seima Reb Yehuda. Ibo Seima Reb Yehuda, Hosam Ksuba, Hosam Kosvelo Lehiskabalti. Hochlo Kosvelo Lehiskabalti. The Mishnah that it says going to Rameir, you must pay the 200. You got it? She didn't say, it's as if. He wrote a ksuba of, let's say, 100. No, she didn't waive it. Yeah, right. So she didn't say, it's considered like I received it, so of course he has to pay the 200. Ibo Semer Meir, right? Ibo Semer Meir, my chayev, when it says you pay it, from where do you pay it? From the free properties. Doesn't mean from the fixed properties. In the Mishnah. Second. Yeah. Further. Lo kosav lo. Let's say you didn't write into the document, if you should be taken captive, I will redeem you. The Mishnah doesn't make a difference. It's a Tanai Bezdin, he is obligated. Okay, listen to the story here. The father of Shmuel said a halacha, an unbelievable halacha. Listen to this. A Jewish woman, she's raped. Here, she's raped. Now, the Torah says explicitly when a woman is raped, she's permitted to husband. She's not an adulteress. What about he starts raping her? So initially she's forced, but once she's involved in the act, she's actually has a desire for the rapist. So during the act, she's involved in the sexual act. Is she an adulteress or not an adulteress? Since it started as a rape, we see the whole act till the end is a rape, regardless of her participation. Or do we say no? It's only if she's forced from beginning till the end. But if there's any change in the middle, then she becomes an adulteress. So Avuda Shmuel says, answer asur l'baylo. She's forbidden to the husband. Why? It's true, it started off as a rape. But ultimately, in the midst of the act, it's possible she may have desired the rapist. So if that's the case, it's as if she was consented to the act. And therefore, she's an adulteress. Therefore, it's a suffix. We don't know what happened. Do you know what happened? You don't know what happened. Therefore, the man has to divorce his wife. This is Avuda Shmuel. Rav Avuda Shmuel. So Rav hears this. He says, he can't accept it. Why? It says in the Mishnah, Im tishtaboy afrakinoch osvinoich lochli into. Right? It says, if it's a regular Yisrael, it says, I will ransom you, I will take you back as a wife. Yeah? So if that's the case, how could he say he took take her back as wife? Does he know what went on by the goy when the goy raped her? Right? Ishtik. So Avuda Shmuel kept silent. Korele ra Avuda Shmuel. Sorim otru b'milim kav yusim alpiyim. The ministers, they're sealed for words, and they put them out, meaning I silenced you. Meaning your psak is rejected. My Yislay Lemema, so questions, how do you reconcile the Mishnah? It seems to be, according to Rav Avuda Shmuel, what do we say? When a woman's raped, there's a concern she may have changed in the middle of the act, and she's an adulteress. So how do we answer the Mishnah? Someone says, no, b'shui kilu. That we assume a woman's raped when she's taken captive. It's a chum d'rabbanan. It's not a real. On a Torah level, she's permitted. We don't know factually she was raped. So it's like a svek-sveka. Suffix if she was raped. And even if she's raped, who said in the midst she had it? So because it's a svek-sveka there, she's permitted to her husband. Yeah? Well, Avuda Shmuel, Avuda Shmuel says, Onis the Shari Rachmano Hechush Kachas. Listen, we have a phenomenal question. The Torah speaks explicitly. If a woman is raped, she's permitted to the husband. According to Shmuel, that this issue is always an issue. How does the Torah permit a woman who's raped her husband? And the Gemara says, we have witnesses to testify that she was screaming from the beginning till the act at the end of the act. If in fact she changed her position in the middle, why did she scream from the beginning till the end? Evidently, you see, she was in a state, she was rejecting it, she was forced. Okay? Upliga de Rava. Rava says he disagrees. He disagrees with the whole concept. Why? Even if factually she's in agreement. Hear this. Muteris. Hear what she says. She's being raped, the woman, and people want to pull the rapist off her. And she says to people, leave the man be. Because even I'm enjoying it to such a degree, I'd even pay him to do it. That's to what that degree she's involved. She's still permitted. Why? Yetza albisha. Hear this. Because we say that the rapist, he created the desire. Even the desire was forced upon her. That's not her desire. It's like, I'll give you somebody, God forbid, injects somebody with drugs. Now the person has craving for drugs. The person was forced. Because the person put that substance into the person's body, the person craves. It's not the person do an act to develop that craving. So the rapist created every aspect of this desire. So therefore it's not attributed to her. it's attributed to the rapist. What do you say, Howard? You're okay with this?
I'm here.
Okay, I didn't think you were anywhere else. Okay. Tanya Kavashi the Rava, we have a brisa that supports Rava. Not like the father of Shmuel. It says in the Torah, V'hi lo nitfosa asura. If a woman was not forced into a sexual act where she's a married woman, she's forbidden to her husband. She's an adulteress. So what's the inference? Had nitfosa, if she was seized, muteris, she's permitted, right? Wait. V'yesh la'acheres, but there's another situation. Apish lo nitfosa, even if she was not in the state of being forced, muteris, how's that? Vezu, kol shetchilosa ba'ones, v'sofa barotzon. The case that Avu Shmuel wanted to say that she's forbidden, the Brisa says even that case is considered nitfosa. She's forced. That since the end result was only an outgrowth of the rape, that's not attributed to her. Okay? Tanya idoch, in other words, hilo nitfosa asura. Ha nitfosa muteris. V'yishla acheres abisha nitfosa asura. But there's another case, even where she's raped, she's forbidden. What is that case? Zuashis Kohen, right? If a wife of a Kohen is raped, she's defiled. Omer Rav Yudah Shmuel, Mishur Rabbi Shmuel. Rabbi Yudah, it said name Shmuel, name Rabbi Shmuel. Hilo nitfosa asura nitfosa muteres. Yishlocha acheres. Apish lo nitfosa muteres. Vezu zu shekdushel tos. You hear this? What happens if a woman consented to have a relationship and she was married? And later was found that the marriage was under false pretenses. So it comes out retroactively. She wasn't a married woman. So therefore, that's the halacha. Even if she had a child from the first husband, she's not an adulteress. You know what happened? A woman gets married. The man said he was a Rosh Yeshiva, or he was a religious man, and it turned out the man was who knows what, was a terrible guy. He was a criminal and everything else. And under no circumstance would she marry this man. And she already had a child from him. The halacha, so the marriage is what? It was under false pretense, not a marriage. But before she found out that it was that, she committed adultery. When she thought she was still married to him. Later it was revealed that the marriage was under false pretenses. So she's not an adulteress. Right? Because factually the marriage was never a marriage. So even though she has a child on her shoulder, from that marriage, it's considered a child out of wedlock, right? And therefore, she's not an adulteress. Not complicated. Is it complicated?
No. But there was another idea. If somebody wants to eat a shrimp sandwich, and it's actually kosher.
No, it has nothing to do with this.
But the intent was...
No, it has nothing to do with it. Factually, to be an adulteress, you have to commit adultery.
Even if you wanted to commit
A woman thought she was committing adultery with somebody, and then she had relations with her husband. Right. Is she an adultery? Is she permitted to her husband?
So what's the mashal?
I'm asking, is she permitted to her husband? Okay, does she have to do tshuva? She has to do tshuva because she'd have bad thought. That's a tshuva issue. But in terms of being permitted to, of course she's permitted to the husband. She didn't commit adultery. The husband's the one who had relations with him, although she thought the husband was a different man. Howard's always thinking about tshuva. Understand? Okay. Omrev Yehuda, listen to this. Hani nashi degonvu ganvi, shanu guvrayu. Let's say you have women that they're stolen by thieves from their husbands and they're raped. So when they're there, they participate in the sexual acts with these thieves. Right. But you realize if they wouldn't, they would kill them. So therefore, even though they're there and they allow themselves, so it's considered a rape. Therefore, they're still permitted to. That's not considered consent, right? They have no choice. So they're being raped. A rapist comes and says, either you let me rape you, or I'm gonna kill you. So what? So even though she's agreeable, right? Because she doesn't want to be killed, but she's raped. She's a woman's raped. Okay, so they're permitted to husbands. Amri lo rabbono lo rabuda vo komet matan lo namo mach. Yeah. But we see when they're in captivity with these men, they cook for them, they serve them, they take everything. So evidently, see, there was a relationship. Mara says, no, machmas yira. The reason why they're doing all these services for these thieves because they're afraid they're going to kill them. It's out of fear. I voka mishalchenu giri. Yeah, when these thieves, when they're under attack, you know what they do? They prepare the arrows for them to shoot. So you see, they're dedicated. Mar says, no, machlas yira. Also, they have no choice. What about if the thief would allow her to go back, and she chooses to stay with the thief? Then she's forbidden, because it's clear why she's staying there. That means she prefers this relationship. If that's the case, she's an adulteress. You know, it's unfortunate. You know, if you remember when she was taken, afterwards she became one of the gangsters, or these whatever they were, these anarchists. So they say, well, there's a certain psychological state that when you're taken by that, eventually you become like them. That's different. That's different. That's called willingness. That's willing. If it's fear because you're going to be killed, and that's not really what you want, that's a rape. But if afterwards you develop a relationship because you're attracted to your captor, that's what? That's a rape. Right? So you say the person has a screw loose because of the ordeal, it's irrelevant. But factually, that's called, you consented, and you want it, that's not rape. It's the Chicago 7, it's the Weathermen, it's the Obama men. It's all the same. It's Jerry Rubin and whatever you want to call him, whatever you want to call the guy. Just making Howard feel a little more comfortable. Even if she doesn't, but she's still raped. Even in a situation where you're supposed to give your life, she's still considered raped. She should have. Okay? Tonrabonon. Shvuyi Malchus. Right? What about a person's taken captive by the king? The king wants to have women available to him. Like Achashverosh, we'll see in a moment. Harei Kishvuyin. They're considered like captives. Genuve Listius. What about if they're taken captive by bandits? Bandits take women and they rape them. Ein Kishvuyim. We don't see them as captives. We say that as consent. We learned differently before. It said that a woman is taken captive. We see her as a rape victim. Let me just knock this off. Okay? Someone says, Malchus, Malchus Lukasha, or Malchus Achashverosh, or Malchus ben Netzer. Hear this? Achashverosh was a man who was the most powerful king in the world. When he took a woman, there wasn't a consideration that he would keep her as a wife. They were purely there for his what? To discard them. So therefore the woman, there wasn't a considered she wanted to ingratiate herself, because there wasn't even she'd be the queen. So why did she do it? She had no choice, because the king, if you wouldn't submit to the king, he could have you killed. What about you have this person, his name is Ben, he was a small-time little guy. He was called King of the Bandits, right? What was his name? The pirate, right? He was a king. But you know him, because he's a lesser echelon guy, there's a chance you can become his wife, right? So there, she's an adulteress. Listis lokasha hobe ben Netzar belistim di alma. With Ben Netzar, we're over there again because he was a bandit. He was the king of the bandits. You got it? So there, you could say the woman, she submitted because she wanted to have the relationship. She wanted to ingratiate herself to him. But what about a regular bandit? She's not interested. So why did she submit? She had no choice because he would have killed her. Uben Netzar, excuse me. Halisnamu. Uben Netzar, Hosam Korli Melech. Someone says, how could it be? We're referring to this Ben Netzar, this head of the bandits, as a king. We refer to him as a bandit. Hosam Korli Melech, Hokorli Lisis, Ein Gabi Achashverosh Listim. If you compare this little 2-bit guy to Achashverosh, you're going to call him a king? Hol Gabi Listius, but if you can't, Al Capone versus a small mafia guy. Al Capone is king of the mafia. Same guy. Comparing him to other gangsters, he's the king of the gangsters. Comparing him to a real king, the man's a nothing. So therefore he's referred to as a gangster. He's considered a 2-bit gangster. 2-bit. Got it? Okay. We write in the Ksuba, I will return you, pay expenses to get you back home. Omer Abaye almona Kohen Gadol chayv l'dosa. Interesting. What about a Kohen Gadol marries an almona that's initially not permitted him, and she's taken captive? Does he have to ransom her? You'd say, well, you know something. You never were even permitted to have this relationship. Nevertheless, he has to ransom her. Why? Because since she's what? She's the wife. Factually, the marriage took place. You married her. You did the wrong thing, but factually, she's taken captive. That's the text. The wife of a Kohen, when she's not permitted him, you got to return her to her home community. What about mamzeres in the Sim Israel? What about a man marries a mamzeres? No. The text is different. I will keep you as a wife. He can't. Oh, right. What about mamzeres in Israel? Eino chayv l'vdos. He doesn't have to ransom her. Why? Sheinani koribov vosfinoch leilinto, because it says in Ksubo, and I will keep you as my wife. But a mamzeres, he can't keep as a wife. She's not permitted to him. Rava ma kol she'isa shvio gorim lo chayv l'vdosa. He disagrees with Abai. He says, if the reason why, the cause why you're not permitted to the husband is because you were taken captive, that's when you what? You have to ransom her. So, but a Kohen Gadol, what's the reason why she's not permitted to him? Was it because of the captivity? It's because he married a woman that was never permitted to him. So even there, he doesn't have to ransom. Rav is arguing with Abai. Okay? It seems to be that the machlokes Abai and Rav is a machlokes Tanoim. Hamadir is ishto. A person makes a netter that he's not permitted to have, let's say, relations with his wife. He makes a netter. V'nishbis, and subsequently she was taken captive. Reb Leza Omer Podev Nosin Lo Ksuboso. You hear this? He redeems her, then he divorces her. Because it's type of netter, it can't be annulled. Can't be annulled. So you see here, even though she's not permitted him, and even though the reason why she's not permitted is because of the neder, it's not because of the captivity, he has to pay the ransom. Rabbi Shlomo, no sin lo ksubosa ve'eno poder. He doesn't have to redeem her. Why? Because it says in the ksuba, only if you're permitted to me. Here she's not permitted to him. Omer Reb Nosson shalti es sumchis. So Reb Nosson says, I es sumchis. These are all Tanakh. Omer Reb Yeshua nos lo ksubos ve'eno poder. When it says he pays a ksuba, but he's not obligated to ransom her. Kshidiro lebsof nishbis. It's speaking. Is it speaking that originally the netter was in place and subsequently she was taken captive? Or benishbis, or initially she was taken captive? Or sofi diro. And then subsequently, when she was in captivity, he says, you know something, I make a netter, I want nothing to do with her. Okay? Omar Li, so Sumcha said to Reb Nosson, Lo Shamati. He says, no, I don't know, I'm not sure. V'nirin dvar, but the way I understand it, he says, Reb Sumchas, sheidiro l'bsof nishbis, that if he first made the net and subsequently she was taken captive, the amrit nishbis l'bsof idiro. If she was first taken captive and then he made the netter, of course, you know why? The man gets himself out of his obligation. Osi l'rumeg, the guy can play games. You know, say, something, she's not permitted to me. It doesn't conform with the ksuba. So he gets himself off the hook. My love, so therefore you must say, b'madir, eishes, madi, my love, eishes kohen kamifli. It's being made a netter regarding eishes kohen. V'abai yom ha'kareb lezer, rovo dom ha'kareb Yeshua, lo, hochmei eskino, go chinodro ihi. V'kimlo, she made the netter, and he confirmed the netter, so he can't annul the netter. Reb Lezer sovar, who knows that's ben shinel. Reb Lezer says, he's the one who caused it to be off limits to him. Right? Because initially she made a neder. He says, you know something, you're gone. You're gone. Rabbi Shua no. He knows that's ben shinel, but she made the neder. Even though he confirmed it, but who started the problem? He knows that's ben shinel, ksuba ma'avidito. So why giving her a ksuba? Right? She originally made a neder. And if you're faulting her, it says, he agrees you have to pay the ksuba. Right? She's the one who destroyed the marriage with the neder she made. V'su Amar Reb Nos Shalti es sumchis. Shomer Reb Yeshua Noslo Ksuba Ve'enu Podeh. She diru b'sof nishbis. Did he first make the netter? Then she was taking out nishbis b'sof diru. V'omalo Shamati. V'id nodri. If in fact she made the netter, mildly he diru b'sof nishbis. What does it make a difference? What he did? She's the one who initiated everything. Mali nishbis b'sof diru. Right? Ub'sof nishbis. Mali nishbis b'sof diru. El olam the adra ihi. Yeah, she made the adri. He made the neder. He initially made a neder. V'abai mitars l'tamei, v'rom mitars tamei. Abai explains to l'tamei, almon l'kohen gadol kuli amalo pligi. By an almana to a kohen gadol, although he was never permitted to marry her, everybody agrees the chayv levdosa. Why? Because it says, the text says in the Miksuba, a kohen, even though she's not permitted to him, he has to redeem her. Mamzeres n'sin kuli amalo pligi, they no chayv levdosa. Why? Because the text says, and I will take you as a wife. You can't take her as a wife. Because initially she was never permitted to him. Right? The mamzeres. Madir, Ashes Kohen. What about if initially he made a neder? The Kohen, that it says to his wife, you're off limits to me. Kulamalo pligi d'chayv liftosa. Why? Because he's the one who created the problem. That's the case of Amon Kohen Gadol. Ki pligi b'madir Ashes Yisrael. You have the case. He made a neder where she was his wife. She was a regular woman. So over here, if he takes her back, could he marry her? He can't keep her because he made a neder that he's not going to have any benefit from her. Wait. Keep leave Madesh Yisrael. Reb Lezer Ozel Basamikoro. Reb Lezer goes after the original marriage. When they married, she was permitted to him. Reb Shua Ozel Basasof. Rav Matars Latame. Amonel Kohen Gadol. Mamzers Nisin Lishul Kolamol Pligi Deno Chayv Levdoso. Keep leave Made Bas Bain Ashes Kohen Bain Ashes Yisrael. Reb Lezer Ozel Basamikoro. Reb Shua Ozel Basasof. Okay, further. It says in the Mishnah, Nishbis chayv liftosa. If she's taken captive, he has an obligation to redeem her. Tanarabana, Nishbis chayv bailo. What happened? She was taken captive initially when the husband was alive. Bakach mes. So what's the question? Could you take the money out of the estate? Why? Because it says, and I will take you as a wife. When she comes out of captivity, the husband's not alive any longer. So if the husband's not alive, do you take the money out of the estate? It's only if she's going to be his wife. But if he died, maybe not. Yeah. Wait, we're speaking two cases. He died, or hikaba bailo. Yoshin chayvin dosa. What's hikaba bailo? What's the case? Hikaba bailo. 1 second. Yeah. Meaning, before he died, he was aware she was taken captive. Interesting. Let's say he was aware she was taken captive. So the moment he becomes aware she was taken captive, so the obligation of ransom came upon him. So if he dies now, even though ultimately, nobody initiated anything. It says in the Ksuba, when you think I have an obligation to redeem you. Let's say he dies, he wasn't aware that she was taken captive. But let's say before he dies, he was aware, then he dies. So the moment he becomes aware, he has an obligation to ransom her. So once the obligation comes into being, his estate is linked to that obligation. So therefore the heirs have to ransom him. Ransom her, that's what we're saying. Okay? It depends. If the husband before he died, he was aware she was taken captive, the heirs have to pay the ransom note. Yeah? Before he dies, he wasn't aware she was taken captive. Levi wanted a rule based on this brisa. Yeah, make the differentiation. If the husband before he died, was he aware that she was captive? Not aware. So Rav, who was a nephew of Reb Chia was his uncle. He says, but who was the expert in brises, in the Toseftas, he says, my uncle said, we don't rule this way. Elo keitanya, we rule nishbis lachamises baalo, and yisom chaim liftosa. If she was taken captive after he died, that's when they don't have an obligation. Why? Because she wasn't his wife any longer. V'lood ela fil nishbis chay baalo, v'akach mes baalo, and yisom chaim liftosa. Shenani korba v'sniach liinto. You hear this? Even if he's aware, since actually she could never be his wife, so they'd have to pay. He has to be alive and what? Be with her. So even though he became aware, but let's say after he became aware, he died, before they paid the ransom note. They don't have to pay the ransom note. No, it could be even they don't care about the mother. They don't care about the mother. I'll give you an example. Person has a family to support. His mother says, you got to pay my rent. She says, would we pay your rent? We can't pay our rent. So what did the kid say to the mother? It's not our problem, it's your problem. They get invited to move in, right? Okay, that they're not interested. Okay? Just let's do the way. Turn around on a nishbis. Let's say the wife was. Yeah, but you're right. They have. No, but no. So they're no worse than the community. Now they're no worse than the community. Participate. They'll have to participate. Here we're talking about the property's liened. Okay, now nishbis or invakshim arasar. Let's say the captors they want 10 times her value, which is a tremendous amount of money. Pam rishon poder. The first time they should pay. We're talking about the husband. We don't burn them that. You know, they can believe they got a death. Meaning, he has an obligation to redeem her once. She's taken again. Reb Shimon Gamliel Omer, ein podin ze shvu Yosef al kedei demein. Nei tikkun olam. You hear this? Chachamim said, you're only obligated to pay the ransom note as an obligation, only the true value. Why? Because otherwise they could destroy us. The goyim knowing that we're going to pay whatever it is, even multiple times, it'll be disaster. So therefore, the obligation is only the value, not more than the value. I mean, if the person chooses to do more, that's his business. But as an obligation, there is no obligation. Right? But if for the value, you do. Even though the ransom note is more than what, then she brought into the note that she brought into the marriage. The what's it called? The dowry. Okay, we'll stop here.